Yeah, you're still muted, Joe.
Thank you. It's myself and Chris that will be doing the presentation today. So Chris, can you show your face? And then we'll turn our faces off so you don't have to look.
Thank you. Hi, Chris.
Right. So Chris, just interject when you need to. Right. You're on mute. Right, I'll just share my screen. It did work really well when we did it before. Let's see if we do. Right, there you go. Everybody see that?
That's great. Thank you.
Okay, so yeah, thank you for inviting us to be involved with this. And I hope I'm trying to get better presentations, but bear with me. Right then, so Swindon Wiltshire Pride. So there's a few facts about Swindon and Wiltshire Pride. So Swindon Pride was established in 2008. And then we, in 2009, Swindon and Wiltshire Pride was born, as we put it, because we wanted to really expand into Wiltshire as a county, because it's quite a rural location and sort of unrepresentative in terms of the LGBTQ plus community. So far we've had sort of 11 successful events, all have been staged in the town gardens. In 2019 sort of being our most successful event with over sort of 10,000 people attending across the day, that was. In 2018, we had a fallow year, just like Glastonbury, that's like how we compare it. And that gave us time to kind of re-establish the committee and just put a little bit more stability within our organisation, which sort of led us on in March 2019 to kind of apply for charity status, which we achieved, which was really a massive step for our organisation and certainly taken us in a different direction. Obviously, in 2020, Swindon Wiltshire Pride was cancelled due to the pandemic. It was a really tough decision, but the right decision to do. In 2021, we are planning to host the event on the 7th of August. There'll be a few changes, but we want to, put on a safe event so everybody can attend. So for us, the pandemic kind of made us take a little slightly different direction, like with all organisations. Really, I think we had to think about what we could do online and how we can engage with our community and kind of just make sure people aren't isolated and stuff like that. So we basically we did numerous events online in terms of entertainment bands and things like this. And so far we've had sort of, like I said, nearly 142,000 views of those in 2020. And we've carried that on into 2021. And we've had over 600,000 views of what we've been put online. So we operate as a CIO. We've got 4 trustees, 16 committee members. Each role within our organisation has a role profile, and I think it's important because it kind of helps kind of set targets for people and kind of allows them to kind of grow into that role. Because what we found is that many people that join Swindon Wiltshire Pride really don't have a lot of experience in terms of roles they're coming into, and it is a learning curve for everybody. All of the roles are volunteers, and it's very hard, I expect with all organisations to kind of retain your volunteers. And it's something that we're working on and trying to make that transition better. I think bringing new people within our organisation and stuff like this. Chris, you want to say anything about that?
So I'm with Joe totally in respects of the role profiles. We've had to make sure that we understand people's roles and responsibilities, because people were doing bits of lots of different things, and what we've tried to do is just bring people in a little bit so they've got a channel of focus. And over, I would say, since I've been on board, which is like 9 months, we've really added to the committee members now. We're starting to get a real full team, And the trustees as well have come on board with driving some of the standards, the policies, and making sure that we do operate as a charitable incorporated organisation, and it means something to us.
Thanks, Chris. So what is Swindon Wiltshire Pride about? So I think probably when you think about us, you think about the wonderful event we have, in the town gardens. But actually, we've discovered during the pandemic we're actually a lot more than that, and we're a lot more than that to the community. So in terms of our CIO and our objectives, what we try to do is provide education to the wider community. So if you follow our social media page, we put a lot of educational stuff on there. It could be pronouns, it could be different flags, it could be some history in terms of the LGBTQ+ community. And we've got over 10,000 viewers. I'm not really a social media person, but we've got over 10,000 people on our Facebook group, and we operate with Instagram and Twitter as well. So what we also do is support and signpost our community, because we have a lot of people reaching out to us, especially during the last year, that just sometimes want to talk or just want to have the option of knowing that there's someone there that can support them, and we can sort of signpost organisations, which is what we do. So what we try to do as well is provide an inclusive and safe space for the LGBTQ+ community, and that could, for us in 2020, that was a safe space online, if that makes sense, because we couldn't have any physical events and things like that. And since becoming a charity, what we found is that we've had to look at how we operate. We've kind of come away from this one event a year type of organisation. We're there 365 days of the year. And I'm sure if you speak to our social media team, we're constantly getting people contact us and things like this. So we do still provide our free one-day event, and this helps, in terms of the community to come together, but not just the LGBTQ+ community, everybody. Pride is for everyone, and we want everybody to attend. If anybody is, I think a lot of you are based in Swindon, so you would have seen our rainbow steps. So they're looking a little bit sad at the moment, but there is plans afoot to refurbish them because they needed a little bit of repair work on them. So they'll be lovely and bright, hopefully by the end of May. So we're trying to kind of, in terms of Swindon, we're trying to give Swindon more of an identity for the LGBT+ community. And I think, a lot of other towns are putting in crossings and things like this, and that's something we're going to kind of try and explore with Swindon Borough Council and Wiltshire Council. Okay, this is the loaded question. How much do you think Swindon and Wiltshire Pride costs? See the chat. So
43,000.
Okay. Any others?
88.
Okay. So Swindon Wiltshire Pride actually costs in the region of sort of £50,000, believe it or not, and all of that money is raised through our charity and through sponsorship and through fundraising. And obviously, for 2020 for us, in terms of pandemic, it really has hit our fundraising and having that ability to get out into the community and do that. We have like sponsorship throughout the whole event, so you can sponsor zones. We apply for grants. We have our own merchandise range now. We have stalls, and there's lots of, we do lots of other things now, really, which is something that we didn't do when we weren't a charity. So as a charity, if you Smile Amazon, you can designate your charity within that program, and basically you get like 0.5% donated to your charity we've also, probably like a few of the organisations involved in the last week, we've subscribed to Swindon Community Lottery. We tried these sponsored events, and we've just sort of looked at Text Donate. So we're kind of looking, always looking for different ways of fundraising, and it's a difficult thing to keep fresh and keep sort of keep going, really. Chris, you got anything to add to that?
So I think most people are quite surprised about how much goes on behind the scenes to actually raise money to put this free amazing event on for the local community. And we do work with lots of companies in the locality to raise funds for us. So having fun days for us, helping collect shopping for us, all sorts of things to get raised by the local community. And they just send us a little donation, and that's those little donations that help us get to that mark every year to raise this fantastic local diverse event for the whole community. And I think what we've also tried to do is try to reach out to the local community to enhance them to try and come along, because it's about having a fun day. It's about engaging with all sorts of different people from different backgrounds, and making sure that it's not just for LGBTQ plus people, it's for everyone. And as Joe goes through to the next pages, this will be about how you can help us as well going forward. Thanks, Joe.
And can I give you a 2-minute warning, please? 2 minutes.
2 minutes, sorry. Oh, gosh, I beg a offer. Okay. Right. So, like I said, we are going ahead for 2021. So some things have changed for 2021, and we are sort of looking at the government guidelines on the test events and things like this. So unfortunately this year we've taken out the parade because we really want to focus on the park, making sure that the park's safe for everybody to be in. We've introduced a new larger family zone with circus activities this year. We still are reaching out for people to come along the event and have stalls at the event, so we'll talk about that in a minute. So how can you help us? There's various ways you could help. If you could share our social media posts, that'd be fantastic. Or if you want to do a sponsored event for Pride, that'd be awesome. Being a bit cheeky now. I'll skip that one. So as well, if you could help us reach out to volunteers, believe it or not, we need around about 150 volunteers across the Pride weekend to stage the event. That's setting up actually on the day and then shutting down. We pride ourselves in making sure that we leave the park in a tidy and tidier than I think when we got there. But I think Swindon South Parish are doing a fabulous job at the moment, so that will be a challenge for us. So if you can encourage people to come and volunteer for that, that would be fantastic. Also, we want to reach out to. We want our community zone to be there for all of you. We want to showcase the services that Swindon has, and we want to give you that. In terms of basically, it's a free event, so anybody and everybody can come to the event. And having as many not-for-profit support services, charities at our event is something that we pride ourselves in. I think in 2019 we had 50 charity stalls and support services, not-for-profit stalls at our event, and we want to beat that this year. So, if you haven't thought about having a stall at Pride, that's something that you can think about, and it is a fabulous day. And just got to keep your fingers crossed for the weather. That's the main thing. Okay. Yeah. There you go. Thank you.
Absolutely fantastic. And
Sorry.
great. No, beautiful. Thank you both very, very much. So yeah, questions. Just a quick one. Is there a rolling program for the pop-up shop, or is that just a Christmas thing?
No, yeah, we've got the pop-up shop going on a tour of Wiltshire in June, just to help celebrate and Pride Month as well. So we're going to Swindon, Salisbury and Trowbridge. So we'll be all in all of those towns, and we're working with the local prides within those towns as well, because we want everybody to be involved.
That's great, thank you. Any more questions? Do shout out, because I can't always see your hands.
There was a question there. So in the chat, why do you feel the event needs to be free? I think, Chris, you've answered it. We want the event to be inclusive for everybody, and we don't, we pride ourselves in terms of being a community event. We don't want to become a commercial pride. We don't want to change our identity. And I think if you get the opportunity to go to other prides and our prides, Wiltshire Pride, then you'll see the difference.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that one. So with that, then I'm going to say, unless there's any more questions, a huge thank you to Joe and Chris for coming along. Great to see you.
Thank you, Gary.
And stay in touch. And of course, through the Voluntary Action Swindon, I mean, we always push it out, but keep us in touch and we'll get it out on our social media and newsletters as well. So thanks for joining us. And so I'm going to push this one.